Muffed is live. Fresh draft class, fresh tape to talk about. Let's get into it. This is the Falcons 2026 draft recap. Muffed! Welcome back to Muff, your Atlanta Falcons 2026 draft recap, and we're unpacking a class with no first round anchor. Atlanta sat out round 1 and started at pick 48. From there, Ian Cunningham and Kevin Stefanski went hard on defense, 5 of 6 picks, chasing athletic upside over polished production. The headliner is Clemson corner Avion Terrell at 48, but the class as a whole is a bet on traits, on coaching, and on a defense that needs help getting off the field. Start with the lone offensive skill pick because it's a good one. At 79, Atlanta grabbed Georgia receiver Zachariah Branch, who smashed his testing with a relative athletic score of 9.04. Quick definition for new listeners: relative athletic score grades a prospect's combine and pro day testing against every player at his position since 1987 on a 0 to 10 scale. A 9.04 puts Branch in the top 10% of receivers ever measured, and the production matched 81 catches for 811 yards and 6 touchdowns, a reception total that led the SEC and ranked 13th nationally. His predicted points added per play, the college equivalent of NFL expected points added, landed at plus 0.50 with a season total of plus 49.62. A legitimate volume producer in the toughest receiving conference in college football on day 2. The offensive line got one swing at 231. Ethan Oniema, the Ohio State product who started at Rice, he tested at 7.83 for offensive tackle, a solid day 3 athletic profile. Stefanski framed him as a big, powerful kid with room to grow, and crucially, he played tackle at Rice before sliding inside to guard at Ohio State, giving Bill Callahan a versatile body to develop. Late round upside bet, simple as that. Atlanta's 2025 pass defense wasn't the disaster you'd expect from a team taking corners early. They allowed minus 16.87 in passing expected points added, a positive sign, but they surrendered 27 passing touchdowns and forced only 21 takeaways all year, so the back end needed playmakers. Enter Terrell at 48 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 8 pass breakups at Clemson. That breakup total 5th in the ACC. The asterisk is the testing. A 4.66 relative athletic score is below average for the position. This is a production and instincts pick, not a measurables pick, and it defines the front half of this class. The run defense is where Atlanta concentrated the haul, and the unit needed it. They bled plus 12.95 in rushing expected points added in 2025. 3 picks, 1 clear pattern, traits over stat lines. At 134, Oklahoma linebacker Kendall Daniels, a converted safety Cunningham, called a stack an apex chess piece. 54 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, a middling 5.09 relative athletic score, but length and movement skills that pop on tape. At 208, Washington defensive tackle Antonio Thompson smashed his testing at 9.38, top 5% of defensive tackles ever measured on a modest college line of 29 tackles and 2 tackles for loss, with Cunningham raving about his power, hand strength, and instincts. Then the lottery ticket, Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU at 215. A projected first rounder before injuries derailed him, Perkins still posted 55 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and tested at 8.63. Cunningham was candid that scouts had been on him since his freshman tape, and the bet is that Jeff Ulbricht's staff gets him back there. Pick of the draft: make the case for Terrell at 48 on production and positional value. Make it for Branch, a top 13 national receiver in the 3rd round, but the pick that most likely defines this class is Perkins. Nobody else in the class has a former first-round ceiling. Atlanta paid 6th round capital for a player whose freshman tape had scouts in the building convinced he was a future star, and the team explicitly laid out a development plan. Get even 70% of freshman Perkins back, and this becomes the steal of the entire draft. Not just Atlanta's draft, the entire draft. The downside is a special teams contributor on a cheap rookie deal. That asymmetry is the pick. Going into 2026, the question is whether this class moves the needle on a defense that bled plus 12.95 rushing expected points added and forced just 21 takeaways across 17 games. 3 of 6 picks went to the front 7, and Cunningham was explicit. He's trusting Ulbrich and the position coaches to turn traits into production. The stress test is real. Atlanta passed on round 1, doubled down on day 2 and day 3 swings, and is betting the development infrastructure can turn a 4.66 relative athletic score corner and a 6th round reclamation linebacker into difference makers. Muffed! That's the Falcons 2026 draft class. 2 things before you go. 1, if you want a weekly recap for the Falcons when the season kicks off, subscribe to the Falcons feed wherever you're listening. 2, if you want the same treatment for your fantasy roster every week, head to muff.ai and we'll build you a custom weekly show. That's the wrap.